of Godhead, Vasudeva, Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Namaha Pankajnabhaya Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangriye. Hare Krishna. Dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Granth-raj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 8. And we read till chapter 9 the last time, discussing about Mohini Murti avatar of the Lord and how she fed the nectar to the demigods and chopped off the head of Rahu. And as a result, all the demons also understood that she is not an ordinary lady. She is the Supreme Lord who is trying to cheat us. So now they are quite angry about the whole situation. So now the next chapter is entitled the battle between the demigods and the demons. The nectar is over. Manimurti has fed to the demigods. So let's see what happens in the next chapter entitled the battle. So would someone like to read the summary? Anyone? Yes, Prabhuji, Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna devotees, downward pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Chapter 10, the battle between the demigods and the demons. The summary of chapter 10 is as follows. Because of envy, the fight between the demons and the demigods continued. When the demigods were almost defeated by demoniac maneuvers and became morose, Lord Vishnu appeared among them. Both the demigods and the demons are expert in activities involving the material energy. But the demigods are devotees of the Lord, whereas the demons are just the opposite. The demigods and demons chant the ocean of milk to get nectar from it. But the demons, not being devotees of the Lord, could derive no profit. After feeding nectar to the demigods, Lord Vishnu returned to his abode on the back of Garuda, but the demons, being most aggrieved, again declared war against the demigods. Bali Maharaj, the son of Virochana, became the commander-in-chief of the demons. In the beginning of the battle, the demigods prepared to defeat the demons. Indra, king of heaven, fought with Bali, and other demigods like Vayu, Agni, and Varun fought against other leaders of the demons. In this fight, the demons were defeated, and to save themselves from death, they began to manifest many illusions through material maneuvers, killing many soldiers on the side of the demigods. The demigods, finding no other recourse, surrendered again to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who then appeared and counteracted all the illusions presented by the juggler of the demons. Heroes among the demons, such as Kalonemi, Mali, Shumali, and Malayavan, fought the Supreme Personality of Godhead and were all killed by the Lord. The demigods were thus freed from all dangers. So, Prabhuji, here I see that demigods, every time when they are in trouble, they are taking the shelter of the Lord, and Lord always helping the demigods to come out of the danger. So again and again, we are given that lesson that any of our problem, whether spiritual matter, should surrender to the Lord, and definitely, and if we keep our faith in the Lord and His name, our um, will be winner always. Back to Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So this is the chapter about fight. Demons and demigods fighting, and then there's also the fight in our hearts between the good and the evil. So let's see what this chapter is teaching us. We'll start with verse number 1. Would someone like to read this one?
I can read.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. So chapter 10, verse 1. Sri Shuka Uvacha Iti Danava Daityaya Na Abindhan Amritam Nipa Jukta Karmani Jatascha Vasudeva Paran Mukha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila. Translation. Shukadev Goswami said, O king, the demons and the daityas all engaged in full attention and effort in churning the ocean. But because they were not devotees of Vasudev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, they were not able to drink the nectar. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you. Please.
Want to share something, Prabhu?
So we learned from that previous chapter also that without taking shelter to Lord, actually whatever we do, whatever endeavor we do, everything is going to be no success. There will be no success. There will be always chaos. And so the most important thing is I learned from the previous chapter in the whole pastime here that we just need to, that is our free will, that we have to just by hook or crook, by associating with the devotee, or just we have to take shelter. Just even if we cannot, personally for myself, I cannot surrender, but theoretically I have to think, try to maximize my hours in the day. Lord, I want to surrender to you. I want to surrender to you. And that will only benefit us. That will only benefit us. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you. Please add your comment.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So the big difference between the demigods and the demons is they both they're Vasudeva Paramukha. That means they have turned their face away from Vasudeva. That means from his words, his actions, his lila, his scriptures. They don't accept the words of Guru Sadhu Shastra. That's Vasudeva Paramukha. Those who accept one's own concocted ideas, one's own thoughts, they don't believe in the authority, they don't believe in Krishna and his words. Krishna bhuli sei jeev anadir bahirmukh. Bahirmukh or paremukh, paranmukh. Atev maya tare de samsara dukh. When the jiva turns one's face away from the Supreme Lord, that becomes the cause of unlimited suffering. And we discussed in recently 2.66, due to lack of Krishna consciousness, there is lack of happiness, lack of peace, lack of intelligence, lack of... Why? The root cause is lack of Krishna consciousness, or turning one's face away from Krishna, or becoming bahirmukh, or becoming paranmukh. That means becoming... Krishna is like sun, Maya is like darkness. So when we turn our face away from Krishna, then we will see the darkness or the shadow. But when we turn our face towards Krishna, then there will be no darkness in one's life. There will be no sorrow in one's life. There will be all joy, because one is connected to the source of all happiness. Krishna is all attractive. Rama, the source of all pleasure. So the choice is ours. Whether we want to turn our face away from Krishna, like the demons. They also churn the nectar, churn the ocean. But if we turn our face away from Krishna, we will not get success in any aspect of life. Bhagavad Gita also says in chapter 16, text 24, Yas Shastra Vidhim Utsrijya. Those who give up the verdict of the scriptures, that means the words of Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. Those who turn their face away from Bhagavad Gita, there's a give up. Vartate kama karata, and they act as per their own whims and fantasies. What happens? Na sasimdhim avapnoti, na sukham, na param gatim. They do not achieve any happiness, no peace, and no topmost destination. But those who follow the words of scriptures, those who turn their face towards Krishna, they achieve all happiness, all success, and the topmost destination. That's back home, back to Godhead. Any other comments, questions in this text? Okay, let's read text 2. Anyone wants to read text number 2? Please raise your hand so I know who all are interested to read.
May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mitaji.
Ji. Hare Krishna, Pranam to all devotees. Text number 2. Sadhayatva mritam rajan, payayatva swakan suran, pashyatam sarva bhutanam, yayo garuda vahanaha. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. O King, after the Supreme Personality of Godhead had brought to completion the affairs of churning the ocean and the feeding the nectar to the demigods, who are his dear devotees, he left the presence of them all and was carried by Garuda to his own abode. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, as what I have understood is that the only difference between the demigods and the demons was that although demigods also had a lot of shortcomings, but since they were the devotees of Lord, so just to protect them, Lord has done so much of pastime so that the demigods should be empowered and they can come back to their real form. So, in despite of so many shortcomings I have hope that if I surrender to Lord, so someday He will be merciful on me. This is my understanding, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mitaji. So now that kind of episode has ended. Nectar has been distributed. That's what the climax was. So the movie has come to, it's not ended. The story has not yet ended, but it's kind of a natural pause because that's what everyone wanted. the nectar, and the nectar is now distributed. So the Lord went back to his abode, Garuda, on his carrier, Garuda. So let's see what happened next. Looks like demigods were not happy because they didn't get anything. So let's see what they do. Here, text number 3. If anyone wants to read?
Can I read from?
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Text 3. Saptananam param pradhim drishtva te ditinandanaha ambrishyamanā udpetur devan pratyudhyayatyudaha. Translation. Seeing the victory of the demigods, the demons became intolerant of their superior opulence. Thus, they began to march towards the demigods with raised weapons. Thank you. Back to you. Please explain.
So it is a demoniac quality to be envious of others' success. Right? Here, the demons were envious or intolerant of the success of the demigods. What was the success? They got the nectar. And what was the failure, the apparent failure of the demons? They didn't get anything. So rather, the saintly quality or the divine quality is para dukkha dukhi, para sukha sukhi. How do I feel when I see others more successful, or others more wealthy, or others more beautiful, or others more knowledgeable, or others more whatever extra God may have given that to them? Do I feel happy from my heart, or do I feel envy and jealousy about those people in this world which is full of envy and hypocrisy? There are very few people who genuinely feel happiness in others' success. Even the so-called friends, the so-called relatives are not happy to see, oh, this person got a new home. They may say congratulations externally, but internally they may be very miserable. And they may think, why he got something? Why not me? Oh, you got a new car. And then externally may be congratulating, but internally may be thinking evil about it. This is demonic all. That's what demons are doing. They're intolerant. And they want to harm with their weapons. The weapons of words, the weapons of thoughts, the weapons of actions. The weapons are not just, we may say, okay, one may not take physical weapons, but one could take the weapons of words. Sometimes the weapons of words are more deadly than the physical weapons. The wounds from the knife may heal after some time, but the wounds from the words, they have much deeper impact. So in short, intolerance is a demoniac quality, but on the contrary, what does Kṛṣṇa say to Arjuna? Tams titikshva subharata. Titikshva karunika. Become tolerant. The demons are intolerant. The devotees are tolerant. So it's a great lesson here. Any other comments, questions anyone has? Additions? Okay, let's
in this materialistic world we become intolerant. We lose our patience.
It's true. Therefore, we have to take more sincere shelter of chanting the holy names, reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and all this. We are in the same journey. So it's your sincerity and honesty. You are saying it openly, but I'm also in the same boat. I'm no different. So we are trying to perfect. So the first step to achieve perfection is to understand there is a problem. Right? The first step to cure is to identify the disease. Like we have few doctors on call, right? If the disease is unknown, the doctor cannot give the treatment, correct? So the doctor can give proper treatment when the disease is known. And so when we identify, yes, I have a shortcoming, that's my disease of intolerance. So then we can work towards this disease by chanting more sincerely, by praying for them. As His Grace Adigadar Prabhu said, if we are developing envy towards someone or any devotee or anyone else, then we should glorify them at the altar of our heart. May Krishna give them more success. May Krishna give them more wealth, more fortune, whatever they desire. And may Krishna give me the real wealth of satisfaction. Because satisfaction is the real wealth. If one has the wealth of satisfaction, one will always be happy. As Vamandev said, one who is not satisfied with what one has, one will not be satisfied with even one may attain the wealth of the three worlds. So yes, we have these shortcomings, we accept that, but we have to keep trying through good association, like all of the devotees present here, through reading of Shastras like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, through chanting of the holy name. This will help us to improve our, reduce the demoniac qualities and increase our divine qualities. Sarve gunais tatra samasate suram. When a person takes shelter of Lord Krishna, all the divine qualities, of course, we have to work towards them, but by chanting, by trying, if we keep trying, then it will happen. But that's what we are all trying. Is that okay? Any other thoughts or comments, questions, additions to this point or anything else? Nandini Mataji, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Kalanemi in the past, in previous verse, he becomes Kamsa, right? I don't know if you mentioned that in the comments. I was just trying to remember. So more of a comment / question.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, in the summary, his name came, so I think it will come further also. Yes, thank you, Mataji.
I can read text 6, Prabhu. Babu Prabhu has raised the hand.
Okay, sure. Okay, next verse is Babu Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Tataha sura ganaha sarve sudaya pitayai ditaha prati samyudha shastair narayana padasrayaha. Translation: therefore, being enlivened because of drinking the nectar, the demigods who are always at the shelter of lotus feet of Narayana use their various weapons to counterattack the demons in a fighting spirit. Now the demigods are under the shelter of Narayana, and they also had a nectar, so they are fighting back with demigods. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So it's interesting, the words used for demons were used as in text number 1, Vasudeva Paranmukha, those who had turned their face away from Krishna or Vasudeva. But the word used here in text number 4 for demigods is Narayana Pad Ashraya. So completely different words are used. So the difference is not that they had weapons and the demigods didn't have weapons. The difference is not in the body. The difference is not in the weapon. The difference is not in the nowadays the color of skin, or the difference is not that one has horns or one is ugly or one is rich or one is poor. These are all just externals, but the real difference between the divine and the demoniac again and again is coming, that one has taken shelter, ashray, Narayana Pada Ashray, the lotus feet, those who have taken the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And that is their real weapon. Prabhupada is so beautifully writing here. That is our real shelter, our real weapon to fight this. Life is like a battle. We are fighting against anarthas. As Aparna Madam said, that intolerance is also like a demon, right? It's like a vice. It's like a anartha, as you were discussing yesterday. Anartham, it does not have value in spiritual life. So our real weapon to conquer these anarthas is Narayana Pada Ashraya. There's taking shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And how do we do that? Through chanting, through offering bhoga, through doing kirtan, through reading Bhagavatam, through serving others, serving Vaishnavas, serving cows, following a regulated life, etc. Basically following the principles of Bhakti Yoga, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, etc. So this is the real weapon. Very, very nice point Prabhupada is mentioning. And that's the real weapon. The real weapon is to fight the demons of this world. Now we don't have to fight. Our fight is more internal, to fight the demon within. And that was the title of the topic yesterday also. Demons in Vrindavan and demons within. So what's the real weapon? The real weapon being the shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, Lord Vasudeva, Lord Narayana. So demigods had that weapon. If one has that weapon, then one will not be defeated. Like Haridas Thakur. When the demon in the form of a evil lady came to kind of allure Haridas Thakur, Haridas Thakur had the real weapon of holy name. So he was not allured. In time, there are so many such examples. Gajendra also had the weapon of prayer. So he was saved. Draupadi Mata had the weapon of sincere surrender at the lotus feet. Mata Uttara, Mata Kunti, any great soul, their weapon was not the external weapons. Prahlad Maharaj, what was his weapon? He was external weapons were not there, but internal weapon, the real weapon was shelter at lotus feet of Krishna. That will help us to win this battle of life. Any other comments, additions? Any questions before we move on? Okay, text 5. Would someone like to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Okay.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Hare Krishna devotees, and all praise to Sri Prabhupada. Tatra Daiva Suro Nama Rana Parama Dharuna Rodasye Udhana Udhanvato Rajams Tumulo Roma Harshana. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. O King,
A fierce battle on the beach of ocean of milk and used between the demigods and demons. The fighting was so terrible that simply hearing about it would make their hair on one's body stand on end. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So this whole pastime is happening in the milk ocean. Now the Lord has winded up his pastime. That means he has gone back, but the demigods and the demons are still there, and now they are fighting. It was a very, very terrible fight. Rana is fighting. Parama, Drauna, Daruna, sorry. Very, very fierce battle. Very, very fierce battle. Mahasangram. So tumultuous. It was so tumultuous that everyone's hairs were standing on end. So basically, like, just to describe the fierce nature of this battle, these words are used, but because they were like, a lot in number. They were a lot. Even in the Mahabharata, which happened 5,000 years back, this, we can understand that this must be at least to the order of million times more bigger than that. Much, much bigger than the battles, because this is like Dev and the Asuras. Mahabharata was between the kind of in the human level. Of course, they were special souls, but these are Dev and the Asura. They have extraordinary powers on both sides. And much way back also, the time also, Mahabharata happened just 5,000 years back. But that also is said when it happened, the land of Kurukshetra, the soil turned red because of the blood of so many thousands and millions of soldiers. So let's see, the battle has started, and it is not an ordinary battle. So let's see what happens. Yes, Nandini.
And then Dandat Pranam devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Tatrat anyam sapatnaste sarabdha manasorane samasadyasi banani jagnu vidhaya yudhe. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, and purport. Both parties in that fight were extremely angry at heart, and in enmity they beat one another with swords, arrows, and varieties of other weapons. There are always two kinds of men in this universe, not only on this planet, but also in higher planetary systems. All the kings dominating planets, like the sun and moon, also have enemies like Rahu. It is because of occasional attacks upon the sun and moon by Rahu that eclipses take place. The fighting between the demons and demigods is perpetual. It cannot be stopped unless intelligent persons from both sides take to Krishna consciousness. So yeah, that's why I really wanted to read this purport. For the summary, the last line of the purport encapsulates everything so beautifully by Srila Prabhupada here. Yes, we always see fights. The people are angry at heart. There's enmity. They can beat up with any weapons here. They are beating up with swords, arrows, varieties of other weapons. But unless, and we cannot expect them to just stop fighting. Even the heavenly planetary systems, they have enemies. So what to speak of us? And they and here we see the effect of eclipse. Because Rahu became enemy with sun and moon, this eclipse takes place. And we know that Lord Chaitanya was born around eclipse time, and what happened there? People started taking shelter of the holy name to remove this bad effects that eclipse brings. A couple of that really got my attention from last one text was that Prabhupada translated Nama into the word Nama as a glory. It was very, so we say Harinam Sankirtan, Nama as they celebrated. That was a very nice one. And this fight is taking place at the ocean of milk. And just this whole description is so beautiful and not so beautiful, so real. It really, you can picture it. And Prabhupada really brings it like the caption to the whole beautiful big picture or this landscape is that take to Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, this is going to happen. And he reads elsewhere that these demons is even fighting in our heart in Kali Yuga. And this fight will only stop when we take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, associate with devotees like this, and read and glorify Krishna. Thank you very much. Back to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Nityam. So we have discussed this point multiple times that in the previous yugas, the Devatas and the Danavas used to fight in the totally different planets. Then as the yuga progressed, they were in different families, the Kauravas and the Pandavas. Different countries first, like
Rama and Ravana.
Yeah, Ram and Ravana. And then different families like Kauravas and Pandavas. But now, actually, the brothers are killing, the blood brothers born from the same father are killing each other. Right? The son is killing the father is killing the. These are in the news every day practically. So what is the solution to all these problems? It cannot be stopped unless intelligent persons from both sides take to Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the universal peace formula, the formula for universal brotherhood. Bhoktaram Yajñatapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwara. Ultimate enjoyer is Krishna. If one understands that, then why is there need to fight? But the problem is that everyone has a demoniac propensity to enjoy oneself. Ahankara vimudatma kartamiti manide. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I am the master. And Krishna is out of picture, that's a demoniac propensity. And that leads to fighting, that leads to problem, that leads to intolerance. But when we understand these principles, then it will lead to universal brotherhood. And that's Prabhupada proved it by his example, by building this international society for Krishna consciousness, where people from different backgrounds, different colors of skin, different ages, different social, economic background come together and chant and dance happily. So, universal brotherhood is to take to Krishna consciousness. Any other comments, additions?
So, Prabhuji, universal brotherhood. When Krishna or Lord Ram was here, it was of there even. Still, Lord Rama fighting, though always the good people or demigods or devotees win that battle, but universal demigod is not possible because all the times we see Lord incarnations as a Bhagavata, Moshavata, always fighting is going there. It's never stopped. So I think that in fighting will go on, but the devotee will win at the end.
Yes, Prabhu, very nice question. So yes, Prabhu, as we read, but this fighting doesn't happen in the same millennium sometimes, or in few years. Like we read, Varahadev appeared only twice in the Lord Brahma's life. First in the first half of Brahma, and the second when at the Swayambhuva Manu, the first Manu of this day in Brahma's life. So it doesn't happen that frequently. This is 6th Manvantara we are reading about. So in 6th Manvantara, one big fight happened and Lord Ajita appeared. So yes, you're right. The fights will go on, but they are so far apart, practically one day of Brahma apart sometimes, or few Manvantaras apart. Does that help?
So probably those Manvantara, the description wasn't there. Fight was still going on at that point. Probably not to be mentioned about, because I never saw any verses. But even the Lord Chaitanya is here. He was also fighting against the demons and making them devotees and something.
500 years ago.
So it was going on every time, but at last some of us, like me, who are demoniac, surrender to the Lord, but others don't. But it will go on for time immemorial.
Okay. I see your point. Thank you for saying that. And another thing is you bring a really another nice point. It says the intelligent person. Prabhupada quite often said that 95% people are innocent, but the 5% intelligent people, they kind of control them. And here Prabhupada very expertly says that. So when intelligent people will take to Krishna consciousness from both sides, then the fighting will stop. So I hope that adds to, that clarifies a little bit. Thank you so much. Hare.
See, there will always be people who will not try to follow the law and order, and that's why there is jail. Very simple. But the purpose is to help. Therefore, ours is an outreach mission, is a preaching mission, to share. If Prabhupada would have also felt that, well, the devotees and demons keep fighting, what do I need to do? I just stay in Vrindavan and just mind my own business. Then, what do you think? Probably, Prabhupada is a pure devotee. He would have gone back to his to serve his spiritual master and in some place. But look at the impact Srila Prabhupada has caused to the whole world. So we have to always see that is not in our control, that there will be people who will not follow, who will have those very, very harsh demoniac mentality. But if we try to build those or spread those principles of universal brotherhood through by our example and through our words and actions, then we are being part of solution. We cannot control the whole situation, right? But we all have a tiny circle of influence. So if we focus on that, we can't change what's happening in maybe some terrorist exploded bomb somewhere. We can't do much about it. Or someone killed 5 people, innocent people in some country. Everyday newses are full of that. Some bomb explosion, some this. But what can we do in our own circle, right? If we are saying, well, this will continue to happen, demons will continue to kill, and they will keep fighting, and then what am I doing to help? Am I part of the solution? Am I part of the problem? So I have to be part of the solution, even if it is in a small way. If we feel that it is perpetual and whatever happens, Krishna's arrangement, then you don't have to. Ours is a preaching mission. If devotees would have felt, okay, whoever has to come for a program, they'll come. What do I need to do? Why do I need to do this? Distribute books or share? After all, demons will be there, devotees will be there, and the world will keep going. No, we have to not think like that. We have to think that it is our responsibility to spread universal brotherhood, to bring peace and happiness in the society. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. This is our goal. This is the goal for all human beings, that we have to share what we have received. the principles of universal brotherhood. So with that approach, we have to move. And which is not in our control, then Krishna will take care. But what is in our control, we have to try our best. That's my 2 cents. Is that okay?
Definitely, we have to try our best, but it looks like universal brotherhood, it never was in the past. It may not never happen in the future, but as you said, that devotees will continue their effort to make Krishna consciousness every living entity.
In Ram Rajya, we say Ram Rajya means everyone was happy. Demons were killed. Right? 99.99% of the population was very nice devotees. And those 1 or 2 atheistic elements or demoniac elements were arranged by the Lord to facilitate his pastimes. So, what is Vaikuntha? 75% of the people are always in universal brotherhood principle. They don't have fights in Vaikuntha. Right? It's the fighting, everything is in the remaining 25% also only. Right? So we can say, I mean, majority of that people are already in the universal brotherhood platform. Right? That's another way to look at it. Okay. Any other comments, questions, additions anyone has? Yes, Praveen Prabhu wants to say something. Yes, please unmute.
Hare Krishna. I don't know it's relevant on in Radhanath Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj's last lecture, he was mentioning one point that when you are saying that universal brotherhood, actually every living entity has the Maharaj was quoting that verse, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kobunhoy Sravanadi Shuddha Chitte Kare Uday. So every living entity has that Krishna Prem, but it is covered. So that in that way we can see that everybody is in the same category. I mean, I can say for myself, maybe I was also in the same category, but because of some devotees' mercy, listen to their Mahamantra, so it helped us to be into this movement. So in that way, we see that it is not like the demons, they also have the Krishna Prem is there, but unfortunately it is very covered. So that way we can look at that. Every living entity has that Krishna Prem is there, but it is not flourishing or it is not coming out. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yes. Any other closing comments, questions? Okay. Nandini Mataji, did you raise your hand? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So we will pause here and continue tomorrow to see what happens in this Mahasangram, in this fighting of demons and the demoniac and the divine, the devotees. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you so much.